All right, Scavengers, welcome to the 6 Scale Scavengers, episode 43. Hope everyone's having a good night. This is your host, Bryan Fontaine, joined as always with my good friends, Chris, Letty, TC. Guys, we've got a special guest with us on episode 43. Really needs no introduction, but we're going to introduce him anyways. We've got Cletus, the Hebrew Hammer, Seldin with us. Been a fan of our show for a while. We've been a fan of your content, Cletus, for a while too. We were just talking about some of the tricks that you use to get some footage, all those Walgreens runs you're doing lately. So we should have a great show tonight.
I'm risking my life out there, folks. Yeah, I always find if I find a podcast that I really like, I go back to episode 1 and I start all over from episode 1. And that's how I know I really did that. So once I got caught up, I was like, damn it. I guess I'll have to wait and tune in to the next week or the week after. So it's been awesome. And the collecting game is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So if anybody doesn't know Cletus, and I don't know many people that wouldn't, Cletus, you are a professional boxer, but you're probably well known more in the collecting circles for your YouTube channel, all the collecting hijinks that you're up to. So we just talked. You've been on the hunt lately. You've been risking your life out there for content, and it seems like Marvel Legends have been your vice lately.
Man, I mean, I heard Letty collects them too. I have collected. I probably went to 40 Walgreens in a week and a half. I took out the whole Long Island. There's nobody else. I found a spot that was like a spot on my map. I was like, that's the spot. And I think I'm going to be there tomorrow. And it's not because I'm looking for content. It's because when I get you guys, come on.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys see me get into something new, and you guys know how I can get.
Mm-hmm.
If I get into something new, I go all in. You guys see me unbox like 30 Hot Toys in like one episode.
It's amazing.
Just lay them down. Like,
Yeah,
oh, look, I got all this stuff. Like, I have all these Marvel Legends. I unboxed 5 of them, and they're all females. Like, and they're like $10. It's like unreal. Like, I can't help myself. I really can't help myself. And
I had to laugh because I watched a video you did the other day. You ran to the store, and you're all hyped about getting this one figure. And I looked at it, and I'm like, well, your title said something like, this fake figure, and somebody flipped the figure. That I hate when people do that. And you noticed it like a couple minutes afterwards, and you could just see like you're just like, man, I'm disappointed here.
Man, that Emma Frost wasn't there, I would have cried. Man, I was so upset. If you guys don't know, I ran 5 miles to go pick up this one Marvel Legend that I seen in a previous video that was on the shelf. And I was like, all right, I get there, and it's sitting right there, nice in front, sitting all looking. I get there, put it to the side. Yes. And then I'm ready to pack up, and I go, oh no. They swapped it out with a Wasp and a Kylo Ren. And I must have seen at least 40 Wasp on my hunts.
Yeah,
I don't know how many
everywhere.
Wasp. I hate the Wasp.
Did you ever buy a Wasp?
I'm so mad at the Wasp, I'm about to cancel my Hot Toy.
Well, you're probably gonna get your deposit back because it's so delayed out there. So, and it was funny too. So, in your channel, you have a little bit more choice language than we do here, so it made it even funnier. And
yeah, I got some flocking and some flock this, but that's about.
Man.
All right, so we got a good show. We got a good show on tap today. So we're going to talk retro review here. We've got on the screen, we've got Captain America Battling Version MMS 360. This is part of the Civil War line. This is one of my favorite figures in my collection still to date. So I know TC just recently picked this up. And Cletus has always given us grief because we don't talk about Marvel anymore. So this is in your honor, buddy. Instead of, we're not going to just keep talking Star Wars.
You guys are unreal. You guys, I hope someone is new to this whole podcast. I want you to go back and start from the beginning. Start from the beginning when these Marvel collectors were going hype. Oh, and not even just that. They were sideshow day one pre-orders. They want to get the first batch in. They don't want to wait for the second wave. Now it's don't do anything. It's, they don't even try to figures, and they don't even collect Marvel.
TC does. He's your buddy here. So
Hey, I'm like,
try.
yeah, TC's got a good representation. I'm like 50-50. So
Chris has more Marvel than me.
Yeah.
I think he does. I probably have like 20 something Marvel. He's got at least 30.
The real answer is: do you have anything on pre-order Marvel wise compared to your Star Wars?
Yeah,
I don't
did
pre-order, but yeah.
I have 3, so I still have 3 Cletus.
Oh yeah, we know what you got.
Yeah. I talk about it all the time. That's one of the things we do on the show is we help everybody out. So we're going to talk about a collection update. We got some news items. We got Director Krennic that released in Hong Kong. We're going to talk about collecting in this environment. Cletus, you're going to know firsthand. I mean, obviously you can't really get a lot of these collectibles we talk about in a retail store, but just maybe some tips of what we're doing and, trying to stay safe out there. We talked about it last time out. I mean, there's some really serious stuff going on. And, I think being able to talk collecting like this, just to hang out, obviously the 4 of us are pretty safe right now. A lot of the people that we've got live tuning in now, are in that same boat. It's a good distraction. It's a good way it's an escapism, and we're all here just talking and hopefully, as we normally do, hopefully we'll be able to give some people, new and old collectors here, some tips and some things to walk away from with this.
Yeah, I feel like right now with their no sports, no entertainment, and just not the greatest news, that I have to post a video every day. If you see my live streams, I'll sit there, I'll beg you. I'm like, I promise you, I'm going to get you some kind of entertainment, enjoyment in your day based off of what we have for collectible wise. I try my best. And today my files got messed up, so I didn't upload, but at least I got to do it with you guys. But I feel like we got to go out there. Like I got to go out there and just post some kind of content out there for you guys. But everybody else, stay home. Today was not a good day. I went out today and more people were out today than any other day I've seen. And it's supposed to be the worst. Like this is like fourth quarter now kind of thing. If it gets over or if it's going to continue. So it was kind of like, whoa, what are all these people doing out here? I'm supposed to be hunting Marvel Legends. Go back home.
It's good stuff though. We like it.
Yeah, and for me, there's a few spots because if you go to your local comic book shops consistently, or for someone like me, I go there, I always spend no matter what, I spend a few bucks. Those comic book shops are still working, and for me, if I want to go and give them a call to see if I can get like an opening for me to come in, they're 100% be like, yeah, no problem, because they know I'm always in there spending. So if you guys are wanting to buy a hot toy or something, and you call them up and they got something in there, I guarantee you they're not going to turn down the $200 and change.
Yeah.
Right. Dude, you got so many good shops up there though. There's nothing in Atlanta. There's very few, and like maybe 1 or 2 places has hot toys, if that.
Yeah, I do. There's all on Long Island too. If I went to the city, there's so many more. I can run basically to all the spots. But I ran 33 miles on my birthday, so I don't know if that really tells you.
Oh my gosh. Dedication. That's collecting dedication right there.
Man. So quick shout out to if anybody hasn't seen or heard the Rogue One 6 show and our Scavengers Assemble, both those shows, we've moved them over to a new channel on YouTube, Rogue One 6. I've got it on the screen here. I just by chance captured a screenshot earlier where they had, and these guys had to start from scratch. So to start from zero, I ended up checking it earlier today, and they had order 66. So I grabbed the shot. They've got much more than that. They're getting already to 100. So people are finding them, and we want to wish the guys the best. They they joined up after Chris and I had started and started with some great content. So plenty of info in the the video they just posted, not only on our channel but their new one as well. So wish those guys luck.
I want to mention something. So I'm going to call Bryan Fontaine. He's like a podcast king, I'm going to call him. So I went to New York Toy Fair, and a gentleman that you used to do podcasts with, because you've been doing this for quite a while, he comes up to me because he hears my voice. I forget his name, but he came up to me. He's like,
Bill Janowski. Bill Janowski.
Definitely. So that's the guy. So I was like, wow, this guy does a lot of podcasts. And then these guys, the Rogue 16 and the Scavengers, are going to start their own podcast. So you're literally, because of who you are and what you're dedicated to, you're giving everybody inspiration to start their own podcast, which is amazing. It's amazing. You're literally giving inspiration for everyone else to start in a time where I feel if you're going to start anything, it's now. Like, this is your passion. This is your love. You're going to go for it. Go for it right now. You might not get another life to get an entire month off. Go after your dreams, boys.
He's the Podfather.
Yes. He's
Podfather Fontaine.
The Podfather. I don't know. I appreciate the words, but we'll see about that. But no, I've been doing this a long time, Cletus. I've been probably about 12 years. I actually used to do fantasy football stuff. I moved over to Star Wars. I helped the Dork Layers, the podcast Bill has. I helped him with that at the start, and now they're still going. They do a lot of mezco. I know you're into that too, Cletus. So. Yeah, there are a lot of good stuff out there. So, one other quick shout out, just because we like to spotlight good stores and places that you can get other places to buy where you're not just stuck doing it at Sideshow. So, I was trading emails this week with Ray, who's the owner of Underground Figures. They're based out of West Warwick, Rhode Island. So they're pretty local for us New England guys. And if you check their site, a lot of their prices are under Sideshow. And shipping's really affordable. And I was just looking at it and I'm like, how are they able to do that? So they don't actually have a brick and mortar store. It's all online. They got grandfathered in with Sideshow. So I was going back and forth with him. He said he's been doing it about 20 years. They eventually have gotten into hot toys, but they have pretty good policies with pre-orders. They kind of go in the honor system. They don't have to do an NRD. Like, if you abuse it, they'll probably not take your pre-orders anymore. But definitely check it out. And they also do like payment plans, even if they have an older figure on their site and you kind of like do layaway where you want to, pay as you go. He's willing to do that too. So I think it's like undergroundfigures.net. Definitely check it out. I'm going to give him a look just because I got something recently and the shipping was pretty cheap to go to Rhode Island up to New Hampshire. I think I got it in like a day or two. So give him a look.
Yeah, I picked up the Marty McFly and the Doc from them from Back to the Future 2, maybe 6 months ago.
Nice.
Yeah, and I mean, like, mint shippers and everything. I mean, they're good stuff, good guys. So give them a shout. So, all right, guys, let's move along. Next, one of our new segments that we just started not that long ago was the Spark, and in Cletus's honor, we'll let him go first. And I think I know what he's going to talk about because he just was talking about it. But what's kind of piqued your interest lately there, Cletus?
I've started getting to these things called Marvel Legends.
Yeah.
I bought 40 in like a week.
Wow.
In the store for $10. So there's a Walgreens discount going on. You go to Walgreens, use your little membership number. It's free. And at $10. I go, $10? Let me go look at some of the older ones. They're all going for $30. I said, okay. Worst case scenario, I can sell these in a year for $30. I pay $10, get some enjoyment out of them. And the Marvel Legend collectors do not care about boxes at all. This is flocking fantastic. And then Letty, I saw, collects these too, right?
Oh,
yeah. The problem is this, though. I messed up because I bought one. I bought a good one. I bought Dr. Doom. He's like the figure that everyone told everyone to get. I go, wow, the quality on this is fantastic. All the other ones must be like this. No. Kind of got messed up. Same thing with the Red Hulk. I picked up the Red Hulk and the Gray Hulk. I was like, oh, these are really some of the other ones. Same thing with the Black series. I was like, oh, I got the Mandalorian. This is great. I picked up the other ones. I'm like, oh, I should have thought twice about this one.
Yeah. I've been through it. I started collecting. I was really into Marvel Legends right before I started collecting Hot Toys, and dude, it was like crazy. I was going to every Walgreens, every Walmart, Target, everything, collecting like whole lines, going back. There was always deals. I was getting all the rewards for Walgreens and then using those rewards to get more figures. And before I knew it, I had like over 100, well over 100 Marvel Legends. And I'm like, what am I doing?
I think I found that. I found that already because I wanted to just get to build the figure, I guess,
Yeah.
and then sell the figure, and then I'm like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah,
So,
but
Those
actually,
things go for good. Things go for good money. Like I've done toy shows with Chris before, and
Yeah.
like he'll put the Build-A-Figures like out front for pretty good money for like a toy show. Chris has a really good strategy. Like if he's selling it, he just wants to get rid of it. He's not trying to make money. Just get it out, cut the losses. I mean, that's how you should be selling things anyways, unless it's something that really people want. Because otherwise, you're gonna bring it to the show. You're gonna take the time to set it out. People are gonna just touch it the whole time. They're not even they'll just window shop. They'll never leave. And then if you price to sell, you don't have to walk away with all that stuff. You're selling it for a reason. So, but no, Cletus, those Build-A-Figures are crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
$400
Oh
already.
yeah,
I already bought Modak. Modak, I think his name is. I bought Sandman, Lizard.
I sold all those, man. All those selling all those Build-A-Figures paid for so many hot toys. Like I can't, So in the end, it was worth it. But
so what's
the one
the
thing
value?
I learned from collecting for so many years is if you're getting into something new and it's not too popular as of crazy prices, you buy all the grails up right away. Like I buy all the grails, the Mark Fives, the Darth Maul. I buy all the grails, and then if you have faith in the company, they just 3 years later, you're like, oh look, this is worth $400 now.
Yeah.
The other thing I got was I got those older go for my Mezco line, but the Mezco doesn't have all the X-Men figures, so I don't know. But a weird thing happened was I got maybe a month ago, Sideshow hit me up and finalized a processing on Two-Face and DX R2D2. It's been like a month. Next thing you know, yesterday they send me the tracking. I'm like, oh, this is all right. And then it's supposed to get delivered tomorrow. I'm like, okay. And I'm telling the girlfriend all the time, like, I don't spend any more money. I don't spend any more money. They already took out the process and they already processed this thing a month ago. And it was just so weird because when it's in stock on their store, but it's sitting in the processing. So that was the first time that ever happened to me.
So what's the value in the Build-A-Figure? Like, is it the actual figure you build? Or is it
So I seen, well, Buddy can go first.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the actual character and how desirable that particular character is. But some of them, like when I was doing it, there was some of them that you buy the whole line, you build it, and you can barely sell the Build-A-Figure for $30. But then other ones, they're going for over $100. Again, it's just who the Build-A-Figure is, and then who's in that line. If there's a really hot figure in that line, then it's going to be a lot harder. It drives up the prices and everything. So, like I remember the one I never found was I was trying to build Juggernaut, and the head came with Wolverine, and you couldn't even touch the figure for less than like $70 or something like that. And it's just like not even worth trying to complete the Build-A-Figure because and then my buddy goes into his comic shop down in South Carolina, my buddy Justin, and he finds 2 of the heads just sitting there for like $10 each. And I'm like, I had already sold the Build-A-Figure without the head. I'm like, you son of a, so it's really figure dependent and character dependent. And if there seems to be some lines here and there that are not produced as much as some of the other lines, but I don't know.
Yeah, like the Rhino. This guy I knew has a Rhino. The Rhino sells for like $120. The right arm, if you just want to buy the right arm, it costs $80. I'm like,
wow.
Yeah, that's what ends up happening with those. So they suck you in, right? Like your video said, you're like, am I going to complete this whole line? Nah, I'm not going to do it. And then it's like, well, if I just need one more to complete the line, and then I get the Build-A-Figure, and then you're like, but then you've got 3 or 4 characters that are just sitting around, and you're like, I literally have no idea who this character is. Like, but I don't know. Why they
do that. I'm like, they're not like, oh, everybody definitely wants Domino. Like, no. What are you doing? This is an X-Men wave. What are you doing?
And then you'll go to your Walgreens and you'll find 10 tombstones sitting there, and you're like, who? Like, no wonder. you know. But
and
anyway,
the description on the back of the box is so annoying because it comes in like every language. So I'm expecting to read it like I'm about to find some good stuff about this. It's like a sentence. It's like, this character got a superpower from getting magnetic wave. I'm like, no.
it's a lot different these days. Not like back in the day, you get a whole file card with a whole, description of the character. It's
like those the Toy Biz figures.
Yep.
Remember that? I used to collect those. So.
Oh yeah. So anyway.
All right, good stuff. All right, TC, let's head over to you. What's piquing your curiosity lately?
Yeah, just I've been starting to do the Mandalorian rewatch.
Jealous.
I hadn't watched it. Yeah, I hadn't watched it since the season finished up end of last year, and yeah, I like it the second time. I'm on episode 3, and it's different because before you go through the season and it's like you got to wait a week, and then anticipation for the next one's so great because you want the show to be great, but now I can kind of just sit back and enjoy it. It's kind of like it's an extended movie almost. It's kind of how it's playing out. I like it a lot, so I'm going to continue with this hopefully in the next week or so, get done with the series, and start locking down some potential pre-orders.
Nice. All right, Chris.
Yeah, kind of playing off what TC was talking about. I've had some time to sit with these Mandalorian figures, the Mandalorian series, and I don't know, just decided that now was the time to start locking in some pre-orders. I was kind of bummed when Big Bad Toy Store, some of the pre-orders for the Mando figures had sold out pretty quickly, just because their shipping is really good. But now looking at some other retailers like Underground Figures, and Sideshow, of course, and just getting that line locked in, and just keep on looking at those figures, especially when the last Mando Deluxe released, and then start, okay, which ones am I going to go for? Am I going to go for the whole line? Probably, but how am I going to lock in those pre-orders?
I really like that Incinerator Trooper. That one's really grown on me. Just the red, just the color scheme. I like the vibrant red, and
it's a great looking figure. It's gonna pop. Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you?
So before I do, I just want to give a quick shout out. We got quite a few people jumping in already. We got Super Duper Paratrooper, Toy Bills, King Zachary out there. How's it going? Let's see. We got Rick, Dick Collector, Joe. I thought I saw Mark Pearson out there a little bit ago. Mario, the Intergalactic Arms Dealer, Nathan. I think Nathan said he was tuning in for the first time in the UK. It's like 2 a.m. there right now. So Appreciate that. Albert, Mike Collins, obviously. I was just chatting with him earlier today. A couple others. So just scrolling through. We try to keep this as interactive as we can, and certainly appreciate everybody tuning in. I mean, we're just talking about toys, collecting. So, I mean, if we can be any kind of a distraction for anybody right now in this what we're dealing with in the world, and this isn't just us. I mean, it's worldwide at this point. So, I think I saw Garrett Bear out there too. So I kind of made like a one-sided bet with him. It really had no benefit to me whatsoever, other than I just wanted to be able to say that I had a bet with him. We didn't even wager anything. I told him I was going to watch. So I've seen Man of Steel. I've seen Wonder Woman. I just had never gotten around to seeing Batman versus Superman and Justice League. So I made him a deal. I said, all right, I'm gonna watch him, and then we can talk about him after. So I love chatting with him, going back and forth just in private messages and stuff. And I mean, pulling those levers over there. He's a huge DC fan, and I gotta say, like, I didn't really have a lot of expectations going into it. When you have no expectations going into seeing a movie and it's not absolute trash, like can be enjoyable. So the funny thing is everybody that I talked to just did not care for Justice League. Even Garrett Bear doesn't even like Justice League. And it was like, well, it's not terrible. So we'll see. I know Wonder Woman 84 is coming out pretty soon here. So we'll see. Well, hopefully it is. I know all these movies are getting delayed here at this point, but it's kind of my thing. I took some time to watch both those recently, but you'd think with all this, like we, working from home and all this other stuff, you think you have tons of time to watch all this TV and stuff. And I don't think I have any more time now than I did before. I feel like I have less.
Yeah.
The days kind of blend together. Like
I know.
I looked up and today's Wednesday. I'm like, oh God, we got the podcast tonight.
Right.
At work all day today, I thought I kept referring to today as Tuesday. So I don't know if that bodes well for the rest of my week or what, but.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys, let's talk some news. I want to talk some Hot Toys figures here. And first up, I got some photos here. So complete surprise that Director Krennic is released. I'll be completely honest with everybody. I did not expect to see this released in Hong Kong, maybe May or June. So somehow they were able to squeak this out. I know we'd heard some rumors that some of the factories and stuff had gone back to work, but you didn't know if that was just, hearsay or rumors or whatever, just trying to, even you saw Hasbro put out like a puff piece to say that they were expecting some of the factories and the production and stuff to start kicking back in. But I'm just going to say before I kick it over to you, Chris, like this figure looks phenomenal. Like this is one of those rare times, like, it actually lives up to the prototype that we saw. And maybe at some level, it might have actually exceeded some expectations here.
It's glorious. It's a great looking figure.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yes. Yeah. We've been waiting for this figure. Again, his release, when they released it, it was just out of nowhere. And then everybody's like, what? Director Krennic? Like, we never thought that we were going to get him. And now he's getting in collectors' hands. And the likeness to Ben Mendelsohn, spot on. It just it looks great in the the white outfit, the Imperial outfit there, and just all the minor details and everything with the stitching, the fit, the way the hat fits, his little cylinders there in his jacket, all that stuff's just awesome. And cannot wait for this figure. Love Rogue One, and he's going to look awesome in a Rogue One lineup.
What do you think of TC?
It's a great release, man. I mean, Krennic wins the award for shocking news, news clips or whatever. Release came out of nowhere. The pre-order came out of nowhere. At both times, everyone's pleasantly surprised. I was going to get this one early, but I'll talk about it later on the collection update. I bowed out at the last minute. But hey, man, anyone who already has it, congrats, and hopefully it hits stateside in the next, 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
Cletus, what about you?
You're
getting this, right?
Yeah. Now, do you get 6 or do you have to get 12 Death Troopers?
18 of them. 18 of them.
I guess you definitely get 6, right? Definitely. I got 2, so I already have the 2. So, and shout out to King Zachary, because he had a podcast going on where he was talking about these Death Troopers about to sell out because that was announced, and I was like, wow, he's right. Let me grab some of these. So I got some of them. One of them I still have it sealed. I bought it from a guy off eBay, and it was a smoker. I got like $50 back on it, but I was like, I still can't get it clean. I got so many fabric stuff in there, softness in there. See if you can get it up. But I love when Star Wars does everything so easy and simple, and because all they have to do is work on tailoring and a face sculpt, they put all their efforts into getting that face just right. The most plain, simple figures that would never sell in like a 6-inch form, make it the most desirable figures on the planet.
How many Director Krennic Black Series figures you see sitting around back in the day?
Too many of them. Too many of them.
You're gonna see, and then the one thing I was gonna say, I didn't get to see the photos till now, and they got the hat that goes on with them.
Mm-hmm.
You got every pose you're gonna want with them. It's unbelievable.
Here's the shot, Cletus.
Yeah,
6.
There's gonna be someone out there that's gonna make a nice diorama with him coming off the plane, and then whatever it is, and they're walking onto the grass, and oh my god.
I mean, every lighting that they use on this thing, it looks great. They've showed a couple shots of him on, the Death Star. You've got him on, I can't, Chris, remember this planet name for the life of me. At the beginning of Rogue One. Yep. Shows what kind of fan I am, but I just like, here's another one of those shots. Like, here's just 3.
Yeah, I mean, the shirt fabric looks like it has some give,
but
it's not really too thin either. I watched a video. I forgot the gentleman's name, but he does it with his sons. And
I don't watch any of them videos.
Yeah, and
secret.
It's just really nice quality fabric for the shirt.
One thing you should take into consideration on this, because I'm always about theories. I'm always about theories and trying to figure out what's this company's next move. It actually should have been the move that we all thought of. If they're still going to release this figure a year or so later, what photo do they have basically in every single shot? They got the Death Trooper in every shot, just sitting there. There was no way that they were going to sell this figure without releasing the Death Trooper. And I think it just worked out in their favor that it was in the Mandalorian. But really, it's really going for this. Like, just 2 weeks later, they're going to release that, announce that, then release this.
I haven't heard that theory before, Cletus, but that makes perfect sense to me because, they're going to know a lot of these things lined up in advance. They may not have actually filmed stuff, but a lot of this stuff they know, like what characters and, designs and stuff are going to be out there. I mean, obviously we'd kill to know some of this information. I know we know some of those folks out in the industry, like a good friend, Sean of the podcast. Obviously it's got to kill him to know all this stuff and have nobody to talk about with it because of and our not non-refundable deposits, but gosh, I'm blanking here at the end of the night here. But obviously, can't say anything, or like you'd be in breach of contract. So, but man, that's a good thought. Maybe that's what maybe released it. I know, Cletus, I know a lot of Star Wars fans are kind of still hoping for a Cassian, still hoping for a Baze, Bodhi Rook. I don't know if we'll ever get those 3. I think of the 3, Cassian's probably the most likely just because of the, of his show coming out with K2. Maybe we're going to get a K. I would anticipate, guys, the popularity of K2SO. Yeah, that figure's going for crazy money, like double retail on the like second hand.
Sometimes
700 now. Wow, holy cow! I mean, that's one of my favorite figures too. So, that might be an opportunity for them to come back and do a Cassian. But man, this figure is just phenomenal. You see some of the shots here with Tarkin, and Tarkin, again, to Cletus's point, I mean, they do Star Wars sculpts excellent. I mean, you put both of these together. I mean, obviously Tarkin was a New Hope figure, but one of the things that I think Star Wars does great is, they're from specific movies and lines and stuff like that, but when you look at the stands and stuff on the box, it's just Star Wars. So if 2 of these characters interact, it's not like you can't put Tarkin with Krennic just because they weren't in the same figure line according to to Hot Toys here. So this is I will make it 4 for 4. I can't wait for this thing. I mean, this is from what I've seen, and usually, I mean, these blogger photos, they do awesome work. I mean, they're some of the best out there. They're working with really good equipment, really good lighting and stuff, and they're making this one look really good. Everything I've heard, and I haven't really watched any reviews yet, but everything I've heard is the sculpt even looks better in hand, and that's one thing that anytime you have digital photography, there's you're not going to get the same effect as if you'll hear us or other people in reviews and stuff say, when you get this in hand, it looks better. That's not just something that people say because it sounds good on a review. It actually is true. So, this looks good. People that have it in hand said it looks phenomenal. I mean, 2 for 2. That's good enough for me.
I'll see it like 4 months for me.
Yeah.
I buy them at the comic shops for whatever the price goes. I get it for much cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
At least I get the hunt video out of it. I bring it to review when I hunt them.
Chosen One Collectibles. It's a great place.
Fourth World gives me 20% off. I bought that Leah, Bespin Leah, for like 175, 180, I think it was. I like.
Yeah. As long ABS, man, always be scavenging. You getting those deals any way we can.
All right, so you guys already talked about on the last Assemble. You had the chance to talk about the life-size figure of the child. I didn't get a chance to join that part of the conversation. I know, Cletus, you've been taking a look at like some of the SH figure arts of the child, and you were saying that those look pretty good. I mean, to me,
Accessories.
this thing looks
only accessories.
Yeah.
To me. Only the accessories look good. But go on.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say. All right, so there's already been tons of comparisons between this version and the one that Sideshow's done. I mean, I think to me, they both have pluses and minuses. I mean, I'm showing here on the screen. First thing that sticks out to me on this figure is the seam around the ears. And because the ears are interchangeable, I mean, for functionality wise, if that's what they wanted to do and not have it be just one way, you're going to have to deal with that. There's no way around that. So it's not like they did that. Well, they did it intentionally because they wanted the ears there. But, when you kind of go through some of the other figures here, it's like, I don't care. This thing is so stinking adorable. And I've already got the Sideshow one. So Chris, do you see any of you guys already talked? Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's what it is. I mean, we're all cold-hearted bastards here, but I mean, something like this can kind of make you smile a little bit. So
yeah, I just want to be able to have somebody come over. I said this in probably a couple of podcasts already. Like the best part of having like a new guest over, I go, you want to see something cool? Either DX11 Joker or check out this Iron Man figure. Like check this out, and they're like, "What? This is crazy." I'm bringing over my grandma, and I'm like, "Yo, check out this Baby Yoda." She's gonna be like, "I'm like, wait till you see what I do with Diaz too." Everything you don't want. That's what I wanted. That's what I like with the statue. I'd be like, "Yo, don't look at my statue. Don't even look at it. Stand away. You're chipping already, But I wish it just came with that little meme. The meme, like the meme of memes.
Yeah.
So little the
bone broth bowl.
The bone broth bowl there. Yeah.
Do like another release of this. Like they give you that and a frog or something like they do with the Groot, the life-size Groot. You had two versions of it. Like I hope they don't do that. That would be.
I think they're going to do it for the 1/4. I think they're going to put in a bunch of other items. It's just my guess. I mean, to keep each one a little bit different, it makes sense to me that it'd go in the quarter scale version.
Yeah.
Be hugging him all day long.
King Zach saying, just deal with the ears. Once you hug this thing, you're not even gonna notice. I can't say I disagree here. So
put him in a little
with the IG-11 that I posted with the SH figure art. The IG-11 came with the bag and the Yoda. Like I hope like Hot Toys just decides like, hey, we're gonna include this, or you can buy it as a deluxe. Because if they sell that and then they try to add that on, I'm gonna be like. I'm done collecting Hot Toys.
Chris, you want to answer this question for Blue Harvest here?
Yes, you should.
He's in
the UK, so he's trying to figure out what shipping's going to cost for him going to the UK, and that's tricky because you've also got like duties and stuff to pay and other taxes. And so definitely do your research and figure out which retailer is going to be the best bet for you.
Don't they use Pop Culture? Right?
That's an option.
They have free shipping from Pop Culture now.
Yeah.
Oh, do they?
I know they don't.
Spend like $1,200 every time I go there.
Oh,
so.
okay. Well, maybe that's why.
Yeah, maybe you hit a certain dollar threshold if you're a high roller like Cletus. Cletus, didn't you get like 3 Mark 7s at one point or something?
I got 4 now. I bought one and then I bought like 4. I have like 2,000 pennies. I can't even use them all every time I go to Pop Culture. You got to be smart about your collecting. You got to be smart. You got to.
It's good value at that point.
Hoard it for a couple of years, and then maybe let it go, or just make a crazy looking display that will just mind blow just yourself and nobody else will understand.
So you're gonna keep those Mark 7 sealed and then ship them away.
I opened up the one in a live stream on New Year's Eve, and I was just like, there's so much stuff going on to this thing. I said, I can't do this right now. So I put it back, and I think I threw in a Hall of Armor and put the box in another room, and I haven't unboxed that one yet.
This is awesome.
It's funny. I mean, we mentioned it at the top. I mean, we didn't really, make a huge deal of, Cletus boxing here, but it's true. It's going from boxing, and a month later, you're talking about how adorable Baby Yoda is.
I know. I got 2 belts. The rankings come out soon, so I should be like in the top 4 in the world now. So I got this belt.
Nice.
This belt. And the one thing I never talk about on my streams or hardly ever is boxing. Like, I just don't. It's like, do I want to talk about pizza if I work at a pizza place?
Yeah, I know. I mean, we think it's cool, but I mean, it's your day-to-day thing. So I do got to ask, do you have a fight lined up next, or is that still up in the air?
Everything's on hold, which is good though, because lucky for me, I fought 2 weeks before the craziness happened and everything got stopped. So I got to get my paycheck in. So I was like, all right, I'm good. It's like I got injured almost, you can say, because I used to get injured. And I'm like, all right. So I'm trying to stay in shape, trying to keep going with that. But I was very lucky to get that in, because when we go to these fights, like once the fight gets announced, I'm like, all right, let me start writing up my Amazon sheet, my Big Bad Toy Store sheet, get my carts all full, and let's get ready to roll. And as soon as the fight's over, I'll just be sitting there like 3 o'clock in the morning, like, check out. I remember doing the Tarkin Vader. I'm like, check out, waiting. Just sit there and just go to town. And then I'm like, damn, I got no money.
Yep, that's what most of us do on all different levels.
Yeah, but we don't have the boxing checks coming in. We just spend the money.
We don't have the blood
I would
money.
say actually the biggest benefit is for me out of everything is as soon as I get out of the gym, I want to relieve all that stress. Like if it's from speed training, yoga, boxing gym, sparring, everything. I literally leave, especially like 2 weeks before the fight, I leave every gym I go to onto a hunt. Like, I'm just like, I'm going to this store, that store, this store. Like, I'll leave and go right to the comic book shop. And I'm just like, oh, look at that stuff. Nope, that price is too expensive. And then I don't even post the damn videos.
That's all right. It's all right, man. I totally get it. I mean, it's not, obviously, I'm not training for boxing or whatever, but it is a stress.
I could have sworn you were a...
You know,
boxing all those
back in my day.
All that stuff.
Back in my day.
How do you think all that stuff done was bins? He boxed them.
That's it. They're all boxed in. I do have a punching bag, but it never gets any use. No, it's just a stress reliever. It's awesome. I've always hunted for stuff, toys, and that sort of thing. So I just find it fun. Even if I don't even buy anything, I just like looking at the different stuff and that sort of thing.
I mean, anybody outside of like watching this channel or this listen to this on the audio version right now, like when like you tell somebody like, oh, I was just hunting for stuff online, even if you're not intending to buy anything, like if that's like a stress relief. I mean, for one of us, if you're a scavenger, like that's not totally unheard of. You tell some random stranger like that, they're like, you're a moron. Like, what are you doing?
Spend your first 3 hours of every morning on the.
Oh, he
Yeah, we'll get him. We'll get him back.
I know what
He's going to come back.
My buying usually comes at like 12:30 at night. It's tough, but it's a stress reliever too. So
yeah, I think something on Cletus's end. We're still seeing his video, but see if we can get him situated here.
There we go.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. There we go. Yeah. So just along that line too, there, like Cletus, I know you were talking to us. Gosh, it was like a couple months ago or something. You hopped in and you're like, for you, like watching like collecting videos and stuff on YouTube, that's like your Saturday morning cartoons now. I mean, we all remember growing up watching Saturday morning cartoons, and it's just like now you flip on YouTube and you watch some collecting reviews and stuff.
Collection. Oh, and everybody got some new stuff. I must have seen at least 50 Marvel Legend collections in the past, like, I don't know, 72 hours. I eat, sleep, and breathe Marvel collections. I'm like, look how much they got. The visuals. And then I got like 5 on display. I'm like, but it's unreal. It's unbelievable how much content you get. And then I've learned from the Hot Toys, though, don't watch too many reviews because how long it takes to us to get. If you get at least the 1/12 scale stuff, that stuff comes out maybe a month later. But those Hot Toy reviews, by the time I got Thanos Infinity Wars, I was like, I've seen at least 30 reviews, and I must have seen them over again to where I never want to even. I'm like, here it is. So don't ruin that for yourself.
Yeah, that's the one thing. One thing about having to wait so long, especially if you're watching all these reviewers getting them straight from Hong Kong right away, and then your pre-order is, comes out like 6 months later. It's like
the worst.
Kind of takes the wind out of your sails.
All right, guys, let's talking about picking things up. Let's kind of go over what we've picked up recently. And obviously, I'm looking at our show notes here, and spoiler alert, it's not as interesting as it's been. We've kind of, I can't say I didn't get anything, but it's certainly not like the 10 I've been getting the last couple episodes here. So, TC, buddy, let's start with you.
Oh, okay.
What do you picked up?
All right, well, I'll start with when Krennic was...
Start with your Krennic story.
Yeah, when Krennic was released the morning, I was like, oh my God, I didn't pre-order it at all. But I had intentions of potentially getting it from Tim Cent, just depending on the price on release day. And it came out to like $280. You can get it shipped immediately from Hong Kong. So I go ahead and I buy it. And I get an email from him, thanks for your purchase. And then I got another email saying, my friend, I'm sorry, Hong Kong Post is suspended to the United States. So that morning that I purchased it, he got a notice saying that unless it's EMS, which is the expedited shipping method, that he can't ship anything to the United States. So I was just thinking, I'm like, gosh, so it's $280 to ship it via EMS. It's $310. I know I can get the figure for like $230 in about 5-6 months. I don't know how long it'll take, but $230 stateside, maybe even cheaper. So I backed out. I didn't do it. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling the $310, so I didn't get that one. But, and thanks in part to Cletus, because I watched a lot of your videos, my friend. I pre-ordered the Jordan Enterbay 2-pack. The rookie. So he's got there's so many different Jordans. I don't know anyone who. It's good stuff.
14 pairs of shoes.
I know, and there's two versions.
Yeah,
of them.
if you weren't Cletus's favorite scavenger before, you definitely are now.
So Cletus, how there's two versions of that one, right?
Yeah, there's a white.
There's a white one, and it's a little more limited. It came out stateside, but I can't find it unless you go to Hong Kong. You go to Hong Kong seller. But anyway, I did the red one.
$560 or whatever. Where'd you get yours from? I got mine. Oh, you should have told me. I got it from this place called Network. $418. I got King Zachary one too. We got for $418.
Is that stateside? Oh,
yeah, it was. They were doing like this promotion for All-Star Weekend, and the website was selling it.
But they're probably out right now though.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody's actually spending like money. It was like
I got it from Big Bad, so not a great price. So it was,
I had one on there and I canceled it and I lost my NRD and it was like $125. I was so sad.
So then your net was like 5 something. Well, anyway.
Yeah. I was about to buy another one just so I could be like, I won.
You can get it from Enterbay's site directly. It's like $500. But the only reason I didn't do that was because $100. I know the customer service at BBTS is good. So if anything comes up, I'll at least have them to back me. So I went and got that.
Earth gets them a little bit faster too.
Entertainment Earth does, and there's a few other sites that have them in stock. But there was 2 left at Big Bad. There's 1 left now, and I ended up purchasing that.
Is this your
There's
first
a lot of other
figure?
It is. So I've looked at getting these types of figures in the past. I've never pulled the trigger. Back when they released the rookie edition, the red version, the red jersey, and then also that white version that went only to Hong Kong, I was seeing if I could do it. It's just I haven't had a break in Hot Toys. So usually Hot Toys is pumping stuff out, but now it being so, everything kind of coming to a halt, I was able to kind of, move some funding over to there.
Even just to the one?
Just that one figure?
In the future, you might want to,
Oh, no. I've already been looking for other ones. I've already been looking for other ones. Scotty, Dennis Rodman.
Rodman's hard.
I think I have a lead on it. I haven't gotten a shipping confirmation, but it has been ordered.
Fine. Rodman's back in stock on. You actually have to search on Big Bad Toy Store. You have to put NBA. Don't put Enterbay. It won't show up. You have to put NBA, and it's in stock on their site still right now.
On Big Bad.
Big Bad. Yeah, you put NBA in, and I found it again. I believe it's on that or Entertainment Earth. You got to put NBA in. Man, those figures is. I'd unbox some DX stuff, DX11. I'm thinking, all right, I get it. I unboxed those Enterbay figures. I was mind blown. They were so good. They were so good. They were even dropping the box alone looked amazing. The figures, you can actually buy the actual body from the company. I wish Hot Toys would do something like that. And they're only $50 hairs. I was like, oh.
So you can double up on the figure basically, because every one comes with like 2 sculpts and 2 jerseys.
Pippin. I did that with Pippin. I just bought the extra body. The only thing was it was sold out. I bought it for 10 cents for like $90. So I was like, all right. I bought off eBay. I was like, all right. You don't really like talking to you too much on Facebook. So I was like, whatever. I bought it. I only
he's going to go off for a little bit. He's going to go searching for some stuff while Chris does his collection update.
Go for it, Chris.
Oh, man. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Those figures always look great. If there was like a Larry Bird or something, might go for that. But I don't know. So the stuff that I picked up, got a few things. I did a live unboxing last Friday, right before the Assemble of the Rogue One TK14057 Trooper.
759-10-09er.
Niner. Was that a niner in there? So yeah, it was an awesome figure. Love it. I got it off Mercari. I mean, it was an okay deal. It wasn't like I got a screaming deal, but it was still a little bit lower than what it's been going for on average. And then I just got the Sideshow C-3PO. I wanted a 3PO. I was kind of holding out, but a buddy of Bryan and I, he actually found it. His mom used to work for Disney and she had bought it for him, and then he didn't collect 6-scale stuff. So he just put it in the bottom of a box and was like, hey, I know you collect this stuff. Do you want it? And so got a really good deal. And so I opened that up, and of course the little stabilizer broke on it, or popped out. It didn't break. So that thing's super delicate. I mean, I got to keep the DC love going. I'm actually trying to put together Matt he loves talking about Harley Quinn. Toy Anxiety is having a 50% off sale, all their stuff, and I bought up everything that I could find Harley Quinn on their site. So I'm just doing a kit batch using all Hot Toys, source parts and that sort of thing. The only thing left is I got to try to find a head sculpt. So that's going to be the tough thing. So I'm looking forward to putting that together. And then, so I pre-ordered the first Mando finally. I mean, I don't know what took me so long, but with all the rewards that were coming in for that party, the celebration thing that they were doing, I was able to put a bunch towards the first Mando. And then once I accumulated more after that pre-order, I put more towards the second deluxe Mando. So brought those prices quite a bit under retail and shipping. And so it worked out pretty good for those. So that's my entry really into Mandalorian figures. And then just something other than figures, just got the Art of Rise of Skywalker book to complete the Disney line of Star Wars Art of books. So that just came in yesterday. Lots of great visuals in there. I love that stuff. I love looking at all the concept art and how they come up with the designs for the movies and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it.
Very cool. I just got the Art of book too. It's still sitting in a box. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Like anytime a box comes in shipped, I stick it in my basement for 24 hours before I'll even think about opening it, but I don't have issues. So I'm looking forward to opening that. I did see a couple people posted online on Twitter today. There's a couple little snippets of things from Pablo Hidalgo and some other things about, we kind of bemoaned the fact that it seemed like they just kind of threw that trilogy together and didn't really have a plan, but they had some of the meetings back in 2014. And a lot of what they were talking about back then actually did end up making it into some of the final movies. So I don't necessarily think it makes me feel any better about The Rise of Skywalker, but I think I can at least live with it. So I'll also be opening that up. pretty soon too, Chris. I love the Marvel and Star Wars art of books. All right, just a couple updates for me before I throw it over to Cletus here. I recently got the New Hope Chewie, and I had gotten the Force Awakens Chewbacca, and you put the two of them together, and there's really no comparison whatsoever. I originally got the TFA one just because it was a better deal, and I thought I might be able to fix it or mod it, and I just don't have that skill level as a collector. So once I got the New Hope one in hand, it was a pretty easy decision. So I decided to sell that off. I did that on eBay. I think the buyer got it today. And like Chris, I actually didn't plan on also having the same update, but I had a whole bunch of reward points and a coupon on Sideshow, and I wanted a 3PO for my collection because it was the last main character I needed from A New Hope. So I did break the stabilizer on the arm. Little bastard. I opened it, and within 2 seconds of just fiddling with like the right arm, and it didn't even just, the stabilizer didn't just like pop out. It like actually broke. At least I can still have it there, so it's not connected, and it's in the back of the DTOF, so it's not like it's a key display piece. It's more of a background character. I don't really like 3PO, but that's besides the point. So I did get that. Light up feature on that's pretty cool. I think if you can get it for way less than retail, I think it's a good stand-in until we eventually get a Hot Toys version. And a final update, I've been kind of casually looking for an Empire Strikes Back Yoda, and I had a couple save searches on eBay, and I saw one, and somebody was selling it one state over from us in Massachusetts. I was kind of watching. I throw a really low bid in, and I ended up getting it. Somebody bid me up to my max, but I still paid well under retail on it. The only issue was it didn't come with the box, and for me, that's not necessarily a complete deal breaker, but it shipped fine. It's a pretty good display. I still prefer the Attack of the Clones one. It's got a much better head sculpt, but I mean, Hot Toys is just getting better and better each year with what they do with their stuff. So glad to add that. So that's it. 3 things, not like 20 like I normally do. So
very nice.
I know, Cletus, you said you've been picking up Marvel Legends and stuff. Anything you've been picking up 6 scale wise?
I got the Two-Face finally coming in, and the R2. Besides that, I picked up like 6 of those gold Gomez's like a couple weeks ago. They're like limited edition. They're 18 karat gold. I bought like 6 of those. I just bought the Jordan just now too. That was only, it was $395 shipped after tax, and that takes about a week and a half to get here, but it retails at like $560. Like, it is a unbelievable figure to put where, I don't know, if I hold it on to long enough, I could probably just go get that white version for like $200 out of my pocket now. Like, sell this for 6 or 8 and then pick that up, play the game, because this is limited to, I believe, 2,000, 3,000, something. There's a number on there on those. And after the passing of Kobe Bryan, I just, I stopped everything I was doing, and I just went out there and got all the ones that I really, really wanted. And those are definitely the best figures in the game. I picked up some Black Series stuff too that was out. I got some Night Revan dude, and more Black Series stuff, but I'm trying to keep it to I don't even know, honestly. If I like it, I really want to get those 3A Transformers. I got some mystery boxes going up this week. Like, I'll sell those out. They're like $850. I'll probably make off that, and then I'll pay back this, and then maybe buy that. But
yeah, so if anybody doesn't know the background of your collecting channel, I mean, like, you at one point had a pretty sizable, I know you still do have a sizable Funko collection. Like, that was what you did.
Yeah.
And now you
25K.
Yeah. Whew. Wow.
I could probably buy majority of all your collections with just that pop. I range it. It sells for about 3,000 if you can find one. It's the holographic Darth Maul. I would sell it for like 5,000. Really, like, if you really wanted to get it for me, like, I give you 5K and I'll sell it. But it sells for $3,000. Like, these Chewies, this sells for about 1,000. The Shadow Trooper used to sell for like 2,000. It's
do you see Do you see the prices escalating at what they were like maybe as of last year? Did they plateau at all, or is it?
Oh no, they went. So when I bought them about 3 or 4 years ago, like I paid $1,000 for that. It goes for three when change. I sold like a metallic thing. I paid like $300 for it. I sold it for $2,000, just right by Christmas time. So they every hobby kind of goes in this like crazy wave, right? Boom, boom, boom. Like someone mentioned that die cast, like trucks, they're selling higher now than ever with the virus around, while other collectibles are dipping. And I bet if you keep researching more, there's more collectibles that are probably out of nowhere that are like here and going up and up and up, while stuff that we normally see is go down. I'm still waiting out to pick up, I'm still waiting. Unfortunately, I'm that guy that's going to wait for the virus to kick in and people's funds are going to be up in the air. And I'm just going to be just wheeling them in. Give me that Gomez. I missed that one. And then maybe I'll be just living in a shipper box in my house and just.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like there was a huge auction that Hakes was putting on a couple weeks ago. Crazy pre-production Star Wars things, like vintage, just anything you could name it as far as, Star Wars and older collectibles and toys and stuff. And it was a total flop. Like they thought stuff was going to, break records, but then all this stuff happened and, stuff didn't sell. Whereas the same auction house put stuff out last year and things were going like higher than anybody had ever seen for certain examples of carded figures and that sort of thing. I mean, people were coming out of the woodworks just buying up stuff for investment and that sort of thing. And people are like, what? Like the highest value of this had been 5,000 and then this one sold for 25,000. Like, so it's just crazy how there's like this shift, like a lot of the vintage Star Wars collectibles and stuff have kind of dipped right now. So there's like a lot of deals to be had, honestly, especially if there's things that you've been hunting for a long time and holding out for. It's just like you were saying, you if you're in a position to, and we kind of put it as like you're like giving money to these collectors that need cash in hand. So it's not like, they're willing to sell it for these prices. So it's not like you're taking advantage of them. They're willing to sell this stuff for this price. And you're putting an influx of cash back into their, for more necessary items and that sort of thing. So,
look, Chris, let me just stop you right there because we kind of actually transitioned into our topic without realizing it. So that's what we call in the business as a segue.
True pros over here.
True. Chris is like the pros pro here. So Cletus, I'm not like the podcast pro here. It's this guy right here.
No, that was a sweet.
That was just happenstance.
that was pretty sweet. And then there's other times that he goes on this tangent. And I gotta like.
Yeah, I forget what I'm even talking about. I'm like, what?
No, but you're right on the point though. Like, so, but if it's different too with Hot Toys compared to like the Gomez I want. The Gomez I want retails and sold for $100. Everybody's asking for $400. I seen it for $200 this week, and I was just like, I think I'm gonna wait it out. At least if I get it at 125 to 150, it's kind of worth it. But in Hot Toys, not too many Hot Toy figures actually go for double value, right? Like, so you're basically, if anybody's losing, they're automatically losing everything right away. Like 200 shipped on a figure that was 250 plus tax plus shipping. That's a big loss.
It's almost like Hot Toys is a victim of their own success in a way because they make so many newer versions of kind of some of the same characters. It's just the ones that are made previously they just don't increase in value as much. Unless now you're seeing with Star Wars, every character seems to be distinct from the previous one released, and then that allows for the value to to escalate.
You could say literally the safest collectible to buy in 1/6 scale is a Star Wars figure. They just don't duplicate it. They don't make it hey, there's this guy from this scene from the same film. It's just it's so
it's not like the
safe.
3 3/4 inch figures where it's like it's all the key characters and it's every figure is meaningful, you know.
So, like, to you guys' point, so somebody in our collecting group posted a link. There was, to Cletus's point, there's going to be there's going to be like comic shops and stuff like right now. I'd say like probably half the United States right now is under like a full lockdown, like, shelter in place, with like non-essential stores are closed. Well, comic book shops, we might think they're essential, but they're not. So these guys, unfortunately, have to weather this storm to keep the doors open when this thing does subside. But I'm looking on eBay now, and there's just one example. Like Cleo just said, I'm looking at there's VGM31. So this is the advanced suit from Spider-Man, the video game. I'm looking at this. It says new in box, $200 free shipping. Obviously, if you're in a state that charges sales tax, you have to tack that on there too. But that's already way lower than retail. Plus, you get free shipping. And in the description, he's like, "This has been sitting on my shelf on the top. It's got some wear from, just being on my shelf, but it's like it's never been opened." Like, how often are we going to start to see that? So it's kind of a touchy subject, and I think we want to be respectful of all the different things that there's a lot of people going through. I mean, like record unemployment. I saw a stat today. It said like 1 in 5 Americans right now are either unemployed or on furlough. So basically, like, they're pretty good chance they're going to get their job back when the economy comes back. But like at this point, it's looking pretty bleak for a lot of people. I mean, the fact that we're even still talking about maybe being able to pick up a few figures at this point, I mean, we got to consider ourselves pretty lucky. But I mean, I don't necessarily think, I think I agree with you guys. I think I agree with Cletus and Chris. It's like, at this point, if you can help somebody out, yes, it's a privilege to collect. It's fun. It's fun to talk about with your friends like this. But, if you've got other responsibilities and you've got things to take care of and you've got a collection sitting around, like, times do get tough. I mean, it's an option you have to like turn that into, sell that so you can do other things that you need to that are of a higher priority, pay bills, protect your family, all that other stuff. But that doesn't preclude you from down the road when times get better that you can buy stuff back. So I don't think you should feel sorry. I think you should actually, if you do have the means to do that, it's like our way of stimulating the economy, if you look at it that way.
Yeah. And it's like you're giving, these collectibles are there for a reason. If this was just your pair of jeans that you spent whatever for, you're not going to get any money for your pair of jeans, but you bought these collectibles for a reason, for this kind of an emergency.
Yeah.
And it seemed that, like, I posted something on the internet the other day where I commented, like, people will rather eat plastic before they start selling their figures too. Like, we will all start eating oodles and noodles, just like, I ain't giving up nothing. So we're not the only ones. It's all these everyone else is out there. Like, I'll give out like the worst figures first.
Yeah, whittle it down, and yeah, there's
nothing says, Chris, that you can't go buy your collection pack. I mean, there's like, yes, some of these things are scarce. Like if you got like a short trooper or something like that wasn't heavily produced, you might have an issue. But if like you got to figure, like we're going to talk about in a little bit here with Captain America. I mean, there's tons of Captain Americas out there. It's a good figure, but if you sell yours because you need to, you could still buy it back at some point. You might even be able to get the same price or less.
Profit too. You could put, if you put a short trooper on the internet for $400, you're just going to sell it in 5 minutes. Right?
So you might sell in 5 minutes,
and that's just double your money.
Yeah. I mean, I went through it. I sold off all my vintage Star Wars figures quite some time ago, and I had bought them all when I was a teenager and early 2000s, and had bought in collections and that sort of thing, and upgraded my figures constantly. So I had tons and tons of vintage figures. And it was like right around the time Disney bought Lucasfilm, and the prices just started going up and up and up, and sold all those figures and helped renovate half my house, with no money out of, I didn't have to take out a loan or anything. And it's just like, and then what did I do when The Force Awakens started hyping up? I started buying all the figures back again. So it's just, I've done it with that stuff. And I used my collection to help the family and that sort of thing. And didn't really, think too much about it at the time.
Yeah. I mean, I think most people, I don't know, maybe not most people, but I've at some point in my life have sold items because I've left the hobby for a little bit of time. Nothing's ever truly, nothing lasts forever. So it's okay to come in and out as needed.
You better not leave this podcast, TC.
Yeah, it's my way of saying I'm leaving. No, but just stuff I've
already had enough of that recently.
It's something that I picked up throughout collecting in the different hobbies. Things change, life circumstances change. You can use the collection to your advantage to help people you love out if needed, and go from there. Like you said, Bryan, there's no rule that you can't come back 5 months later and buy the same ones or new versions of those figures you sold. So,
and I know this from last year because I sold a lot of my pops. I actually enjoyed selling more than I did collecting. It was so much fun. You post all these things up that you collected and they go for more money that you paid, or some go for losses. But then you see them getting sold. You go to the post office, you're dropping them off. It was more enjoyable to sell them than it was to collect them. And it kind of makes you into a complete collector instead of a complete hoarder.
Yeah.
And you go show your significant other one, look, sweetheart, I sold this for this price.
Yeah.
She's gonna go, you should buy more.
It's using that
Totally.
skill. I mean, all this experience and all this stuff. I mean, Cletus, you do it better than most out there. You buy low, you sell high, and there's idiots like me that do the complete opposite of that. But in theory,
I hot toy with no box.
Yeah, I mean, it's hey, I will say though, pal. I will say though, I'm not selling arts out like I used to. It's because you gave me enough grief on one of your live streams not that long
It was
ago.
an unboxing video.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the unboxing video. So, all right. So, speaking of Sean, we mentioned him a little bit ago. Just so I can make everybody that's listening to the audio version of this tune into YouTube. So we're showing something on the screen that's definitely worth knowing. And if you're a certain fan of a certain franchise, it's probably one of the worst kept secrets out there of things that we think are coming. But looking forward to that. So, thanks for popping in, Sean. We appreciate it. All right, guys, any final thoughts about that, or let's talk about some cap?
No, just, I mean, like we've said before, I mean, things are probably going to be a little bit lighter, with the purchases, but, there's still going to be things wheeling and dealing going on. So hopefully we don't all have a blank collection update next time around, but who knows?
I'm no comment on that one right now. Hey, we got to plan. We just like Cletus is planning all content here. We gotta do the same thing.
That's right.
So.
Right.
All right, guys. Let's talk battling cap. So this is an older figure. Obviously, this is something. Well, you can still buy it because it's not super rare, but it was something that came out in 2016. So TC, before I kick it over to you, because you're the other one that has this in hand right now, I'll just kind of go through the stats. So this was the battling version, which is a movie promo edition figure from Captain America Civil War, MMS 360, very similar to the figure that MMS 350, which was the standard cap from the same movie. Original retail price was $224.99. You're not going to see it for that price now, but there are some deals to be had right now, especially as the market's a little oversaturated with so many different versions of Captain America out there. This one was on pre-order April 15th, 2016. And because it was a movie promo, it actually came out 1 month later in May when they released Cap Civil War. So the images we're going to show here are like the typical photos they show when they put the figure up for pre-order. But because it's a movie promo, it was basically a final product at that point. So TC, first thoughts on this? You just picked this up.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I mean, I've got it in my hand right now. I like the weathered effects on the shirt and the chest area. Civil War, it just fits the tone of the movie more to me than just the clean cap. Yeah, I mean it's I don't know, it's just Captain America. I don't know. It's just a nice figure. I like the cloth outfit rather than that new synthetic material they've been using for Infinity War and likely Endgame cap. This is the last one to use that. Maybe the 2012 version uses the same cloth, but as of today, what's used for concept cap is a little bit like a rubber type material. It can stick to itself when you articulate it. But this is that old school cloth material that'll just stand the test of time. The shield is pretty sweet. Now you can see on the screen, it's got the scratch from Black Panther from that one scene in Civil War, and it's weathered as well. I like weathering on figures. I'm not as big a fan of clean figures, just because it's not realistic as it would be in the movie. So, to me, it's a great figure. Also, I think the weathering actually helps with the boxiness of the silhouette. So the Infinity War figure and the concept cap have a little bit better silhouette because of the body type they used, but the weathering kind of masks that a bit, in my opinion. The clean cap, I can kind of tell it's a little bit more boxy looking. Deceives the eyes a bit, but love the figure, man. Thanks, Dan Lee. Appreciate the scavenger price on that. I didn't want to hijack the guys, our other members thread, but when Dan said that the other member wasn't interested, I went ahead and got the deal secured. So appreciate that, man.
Always be scavenging.
So
up on the screen here, I've got, so I have both versions. A couple people in the chat, Sean included, are basically saying this is the perfect cap. And this is probably one of my top 10 figures in my collection. I know it surprises probably a lot of people because they think I just have Star Wars now, but Cap's one of my favorite characters, and just this version is just great. So I'm going to kind of go back and forth, and this is probably the best way to show the differences. So this is MMS 350. This is the air quotes clean version. And then this is the figure that actually came out first. And I'm just going to use my mouse so you can kind of see there's some weathering here. And then technically where these are on his lower torso, these are more white on the normal figure, and you can see that they're a little gussied up. And I think this version, I'll agree with my co-host here. To me, out of the two, I prefer this. It's also the last time that you're going to get a die-cast shield. Now, I don't know if you guys know or not. I can't remember, but I know the D23 cap they came out with from Endgame. I'm almost pretty sure that shield is plastic. So this is the last die-cast shields we got for Cap, and probably not going to get more Cap figures. So I know the die-cast does have some weight to it. It's actually hard to display and actually have it up because of the weight of the shield. Actually, just makes his arm go down. So you can kind of see the differences between the two shields. Obviously, the clean one is pretty self-explanatory. The battle damage one that you're getting with this MMS 360 has got the claw marks from T'Challa, and then you kind of have this paint spattering all over the place. Dirt. So I can't really say much more than that. I absolutely love this figure.
All right, I'm watching Civil War tonight now.
Cletus, nice. Do you have a Civil War cap?
No, when I was going through my calculations for everything, I was like, let me check. Age of Ultron. I like that the magnet was on there. That's a good one. And that thing was selling for $500 during the hype. I sold that, and I thought the Age of Ultron line, the figures were just amazing. But then they just, for some reason, for whatever Hot Toys is, besides that cap, usually the newer the better. Basically, it is right. Their cap, whatever the newest one is a better one, unfortunately. But
yeah, that's what's interesting about this one.
I'm watching tonight because of you two.
This cap, you're right about that. There's been, there's going to have been potentially 5 caps: Infinity War concept, Endgame, D23, and then 2012. You could still make the argument that the Civil War or the battling version is the best one, even after those are released. I mean, we don't know what the Endgame one looks like in hand, but you can see
the another reissue on the other one
pictures.
Too.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
That one, so I had the original. That figure is awful. That one that came out in 2012 for the first Avengers figure, first Avengers film. Sorry, head sculpt was horrible. The shields were horrible. The suit was, you couldn't. So they're retooling that one, so that 2012 version where he's fighting himself in Endgame. That looks like a really, really good figure. I think that suit's pretty cool anyways. It's iconic. It's the first time he showed up on screen in the Avengers film. So, I mean, for any Cap fan, I mean, it's pretty cool.
You can link it with the Mark 7 too, right?
Yep.
Like,
oh yeah,
totally.
Yeah, I mean, that's
what I want to do eventually.
So Chris, I know I haven't thrown it over to you yet. I know you don't have this figure.
No, I don't have this. I didn't really pursue the Civil War line too much. I've got Scarlet Witch. Never opened it. And then
I want to check that with those leather pants. And I'm not just saying that because I'm creepy. It's just
I inspected it the other day. My girls always want to look at the figures and stuff, and they're like, can we open that one? And I'm like, not that one yet, but I've got Falcon. I had Black Widow, but I never get the Cap because the prices at the hype were just so high, and I just couldn't justify spending the money on it. And I had planned on getting I've got Infinity War. That's the only Cap I have right now. I had the concept one. I sold it. It's a great looking figure in my opinion. I just I don't really have a place for it really in my collection. If I had kept the Mark 46, I think that I could have paired those two together eventually, but it's a great figure. I like the look, iconic Cap figure, and maybe if prices continue to dip a bit, might be able to find a deal on one. But I agree, the battling version looks better, in my opinion, than the original release. I like the shield and all that extra detail. So it just
it's best. It's to me, it's the best Cap figure they've done. Like you said, it's really high in my collection. The die-cast shield is great. The straps are well done. I know, unfortunately, you got to be careful because, it is in 6 scale. I mean, some of it can break easily. I mean, a lot of Cap collectors know using super glue pretty well, unfortunately, to reattach some of the straps sometimes. I'd say the only downfall about this figure, guys, I think the head sculpt's pretty darn good. I think even TCU and I were talking before we started going live that this version, because it doesn't have the interchangeable lower mouthpiece that the standard one does, where you can get the kind of the the open mouth look, the yelling one or whatever it is. This one to me stands out. I think the one thing is just articulation. I mean, it's still decent. It's not like the stealth suit where you couldn't even move his arms at all. You can at least bend the elbow to 90 degrees, but you can't get the shoulder. You can't get the arm over the shoulder, so you're not going to pose this thing too dynamically. But I mean, it's
you never can. I mean, the Infinity War Cap, you can't do that either.
Yeah, the concept one had quite a bit of articulation.
That's true. That one did.
But it just it looked cool and everything. Just didn't. It was hard to fit it into a display.
Right.
All right. Well, Chris, you don't have this in hand. TC and I do. Cletus is going to go watch Civil War after we get done recording here.
Pretty amazing. You say that it was actually released it was
a month after, like a month after.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So they've done it a few times. Like some of the Stan Lee, the Scarlet Spider. Sometimes it's a really tight turnaround. So with these movie promo figures, sometimes they'll kind of hold it in secret. They won't show their cards, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, here's the figure. Oh, and by the way, we're releasing it next month. The Black Widow from Infinity War did the same thing. They showed it, and then the next month it was available in Japan, and then it was the first Infinity War figure that we got. You could argue it's not that great. I still don't mind mine. But yeah, no, it's sometimes they'll have a few figures per year that it doesn't make any sense. They show it, you pre-order it, and then you get it a month later.
Yeah,
so it was April to May 2016.
Yeah, the standard release was released much further, much later. You know, I'm guessing the run on the battling version was a much smaller run than the standard. I don't know for sure, but that'd just be my guess based on the turnaround time.
I wonder if you could go look at the figures that they ever revealed and gave to you guys while the movie is coming out or is about to come out. What are the percentage of it actually being still the best figure of that figure? Because I'm kind of new to it. I picked up the Sith Trooper for Hot Toys or San Diego Comic-Con, and then I seen him for like 2 seconds on the film, and I was like, oh man, that's not going to be talked about too much. In the same sense of that, you know,
the Far From Home.
Sometimes it's worth waiting though. It's like sometimes cool. You get caught up in the hype of a movie, you want to order it. That's what they're capitalizing on. But sometimes it's better just to see the movie, then you know what figures you're gonna like, and go from there. Sorry, TC.
I was just gonna say the Far From Home Spider-Man suit, the tech suit, is a good example. I mean, I think that one's better than if you're just going off of the quality of the suit versus the Homecoming version. I think it's a little bit better. Hot Toys improved on some things, so I think that one might be the best, and it might be the best of any of the figures in the line. Just look at the classic red and blue, but it's rare.
All right, so
San Diego Comic-Con, I had to pick it up.
Cool little accessory here too, the crossbones helmet. So I think TC, I think you and I got to rate this thing on the number of crossbones damage helmets we've got here.
Another figure I would have bought.
Our buddy Sean is out here too. My personal speculation is I don't think the actor for this signed off on the likeness. We got the prototype and we never got the figure. So that happens more often than we know. They just they don't sign off on the license to be able to, make their figure, which disappoints us because then we're Cyborg and all that other stuff. But okay, TC, rate this, buddy.
I guess I'm gonna go 5 crossbone helmets. I think it's a good, it's a really good figure, man. I think it's the best cap they've released. And it's got, like I said, the big thing for me is the cloth suit. I like that because I think it's going to last. You can put it in. If you can get it to a dynamic pose, you don't have to worry about it deteriorating. Now, like you said, Bryan, it's not super easy to do that. The articulation's not great. That's probably its weakest point. But it's the movie promo version of Captain America: Civil War. You're not going to get it again. I like it.
5 crossbone helmets too. I said, it's a top 10 figure in my collection. Definitely worth taking a look at. Obviously, if you could get it for retail, great. I think in this environment, you might be able to get away with maybe 100 over and still feel pretty good about that. I paid far greater than that at the hype. I mean, I bought this right before Infinity War, and all the Marvel crazies like us went crazy for all this stuff out there, and the prices just skyrocketed, and then they fell back down to earth. But yeah, this is it's a phenomenal cap. To me, it's the best cap they've done. We'll see when they have the other 2 versions coming up soon if it compares, but it's the best one you can get on the market right now. Because that D23 one right now is it's 4 times retail. It's just silly.
Holy cow.
No figure's worth that.
I didn't even get that. I mean, it's just because of the mouse ears, man. That's what it is.
It's the mouse ears, and
sticker.
They didn't make money of them, so it's scarce.
The Funko thing. The SDCC.
To make a Funko analogy, once that standard figure comes out, that exclusive version is just going to go poof. That's my soundboard.
Yeah,
we have.
That's good.
Our budget is $0.00 here. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see, when we get Endgame cap, when that gets in hand and that sort of thing, how that looks. And I still have mine on pre-order. I think it's a great looking figure. So, we're still going to get a couple more caps, but I don't know how many more. I think we're done with Chris Evans Captain America figures. Yeah.
2 more.
Yep.
Yep. Good chat here, guys. So normally we just kind of go through our normal plugs, but Cletus, we just wanted to thank you multiple times over for joining us tonight. It was a fun time. Wanted to give you a chance to. I mean, if somebody isn't already following you and isn't already subscribed to your channel, shame on them. But if you want to just give some of that detail for some of our listeners here.
Yeah, I'm on. So I got a YouTube channel, and I collect a little bit of everything. I just have everything you could possibly find on there. But I usually do my live stream. That's where it's really interactive and really fun. So check me out on there. Instagram is whatever. It's just Cletus Collects. But I love being on the show. Thank you for having me. I watch and listen to every single one of them. This is the kind of show that when one of these go live or uploaded, I have to be at home doing collecting stuff. Like, I don't want to be in the car going run and listen to this. I'm not wasting it on that. I want to get my good collecting, displaying in, go to the fridge, go back, just keeping it on. I liked it. And it was great too, because tonight, Bryan was sitting there. Every time he would leave, we could see off the mirror, see what he's doing behind him. It was great. We had the mirror behind him. So I was like, hey, what is he doing? Standing up, okay. All right, a little trickster, a little April Fool's joke on us, understand. I'm waiting for him to flash me. I didn't know.
We're not that kind of show.
Too funny.
I enjoy it. I enjoy helping and being part of the community. I enjoy the community. It's a stress-free community, and you guys are very, like your live stream, there's nobody fighting over each other, kind of yelling at each other as they pace. And it even helped me like keep my ADHD back. I'm just like, you know what? This is a good therapy session for myself, young man. Thank you, guys.
Some restraint,
That was good.
All right. Well, we appreciate it, Cletus. You're welcome back anytime.
Absolutely.
All right. So we've got a website, sixscalescavengers.com. I just recently put up a checklist that threw a bone to DC collectors out there. So we've got a full 2006 to current. If you want to know all 82 figures and Batmobiles and all that other stuff that they've released, we got links there, and retail prices for some of it, not all of it. Some of that older stuff is just hard to even find anything on the internet for. But if you see we're missing anything, or we got missed a figure, or we got a price wrong, or a price and we don't have it, reach out to us. We'd appreciate. It's just our way to get back to community. I mean, for me, it's kind of therapeutic to go through and do all that. It took me like 5 hours one night. I was just like, I'm gonna finish this. I thought it was only gonna take me like 2 or 3, but
When you come out with a little check marker for us, so we can just download it, and I can just clickety click away.
I got to get somebody that's actually good at a web developer to do something like that for me. I'm just doing Excel. So we've got our TeePublic store. We've got some T-shirts there. Facebook page. We're on Instagram. I think we just hit like 400 followers.
Yeah, that's our big number on Instagram. I look at Cletus's and I'm like, we've got something to strive to.
The YouTube channel is where it's at. And actually, the most proudest I am is my Twitch. I got 81 subscribers on there. So if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can link it to Twitch and you become a subscriber. And $2.50 comes into the channel, and it doesn't cost you a thing. It's free, and then you get to be part of all the giveaways. Give away like a Mezco figure every other month, something like that. Nice. And that's probably like my proudest one, because I get, and you get to give back and support me for free just by linking your account. So
it's cool. Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. And then just real quick, shout out to Collecting Weekly and their suite of shows. I'm gonna have to study up on the show count now.
Just say they've got a lot of shows. TC,
they've got a lot of shows. Zach and Dean, give them a listen.
So audio version of this is on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, obviously here on YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, and if you want the RSS feed directly, it's on Libsyn, sixscalescavengers.libsyn.com. So guys, fun show, just about the hour and 30 mark, and it's a good time to bid everybody adieu. Want to thank, we had about 35 people tuning in live on a Wednesday night. Not too bad, not too shabby, and probably a lot more that will catch us afterwards. So again, just want to thank you guys for chatting. It was a great time. Cletus, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. And Chris, I don't know what the heck you're going to do for a sign off, but sign us off.
Everybody's been telling me like do different things and that sort of thing.
Stick to something. It's like, it was May the Force be with you, then it was Excelsior, and then you just went off the rails like the last 2 episodes. You're loose cannon. I don't know what you're going to do here.
I don't know. What do the people want? Margot?
Give us a punch. Give us a punch.
No, don't.
The Cletus one.
Yeah. Dude.
Boo!
All right. Well, it's It's hammering time.
Ooh.
No. This is no. I don't know what to do. We're losing it. We're losing it. No, I'm just kidding.
You're fired.
Cletus, sign us out.
We'll see you in the next one. Boom.